Welcome to the 2013 Counselor Recognition Program.
Thank you, and welcome once again to our annual Gwinnett Counselor Recognition Program. As we begin our celebration, please join me in thanking our principals for sponsoring this. I'd like to ask
Mr. Tommy Welch, Principal of Meadowcreek High School, to present this year's High School Counselor of the Year.
Good morning. I must too admit that this is a very difficult secret to keep. Mr. Blair and I share a counseling suite or a front office suite, and he's only about 2 doors down from me. And every year that we roll out the applications, usually around this time we talk about, so who do you think's gonna win? And it was just, I think Wednesday he was in my office and we were going through an evaluation, and who do you think's gonna win? I said, I don't know, I haven't heard anything, I said, let me call. I don't know, we're gonna work on this. So I do apologize for not being transparent, Mr. Blair. That is something that we do practice at Meadowcreek High School, but I'm sure you understand. The counseling team at Meadowcreek High School is a very tight group. We consider ourselves a family. We're a family as well with the administrators that we serve. We all work as a team. I always, when I speak to the counselors, I always say, the counseling department is the heart of the school. Now, we all know that the heart is usually only about the size of your hand. And in comparison to the body, it may seem insufficient, or it may seem as if it's not as valuable as the other items. But we all know that without the heart, the body does not work. The heart is responsible for moving the blood throughout the body, making sure that it functions. I think of the blood as sort of the students. The heart provides the oxygen for the blood as it goes through the heart. Well, the counselors do the same thing for our students. They provide them with the support, the nurture, the counseling, so they can make it through the day or through the 4 years in high school. Counselors sometimes will say you're a nurse sometimes. Sometimes, you might actually be a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Other times you're an accountant, not just with money, sometimes with figuring out the credits in the high school. We all hold those special circumstances in our special students that we work with. But we all do those things for our students. And Mr. Blair, he does an exceptional job with that for our school. Trying to sum up his accomplishments, and he has so many. So I'm going to sum them up in 3 words: collaborate, inspire, and own. Those are our 3 guiding principles at Meadowcreek High School. Mr. Blair has collaborated not just with the community, the parents, and the students and the faculty and staff to create several events that support student achievement. He's worked very hard with a junior jam session. And some of you may know about that. That's a wonderful intervention session that we hold, and we held it overnight where our students would study for the high school graduation test. He worked with the community to make sure that there were extra incentives for our students so that they can participate. He worked with the faculty and staff to encourage them to join in on this event, because it's very hard to get a teacher to dedicate their entire night to instruction. He also worked with the student body to get them excited to spend the night at high school. So that was a wonderful event that his leadership provided the opportunity so that can take place. Another event is Creek Week. It's a week-long study event for the students at Meadowcreek High School. Through his leadership and encouraging the faculty and staff and the counselors to realize that there's something more we need to provide for our students to make them fall in love with school, those events were possible. And I cannot forget a cluster-wide parade for our community. Mr. Blair, as well as the other counselors, they recognize that it's not just about the school, it's about the community. How can we create an environment in the Meadowcreek cluster where everyone feels as one and feels valued, feels committed to the mission and vision? Creating a cluster-wide parade allows an opportunity for our elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools to collaborate on one day to go down our street and show our community the pride that we have in our school. It was through Mr. Blair's leadership that those things took place. Inspire. Counselors, we inspire every day. We inspire students to become something more than they ever thought they can be. Mr. Blair has demonstrated that through his leadership with the counselors. We always say that a leader or a leader's team is an elongated shadow of him or her. His team is definitely an elongated shadow of him. He embodies what it means to be a counselor. He takes the time to sit down with parents and students to work through whatever situation that arrives at our front door. And you all think, our contract is between 7 and 3, but those situations don't arrive at the front door, usually between the hours of 7 and 3. So he's there early, and he stays late to make sure that the parents as well as the students get the service that they've arrived for. Some other things that he does, for passion for quality, he inspires students and counselors as well as the parents to become involved in their children's life. As we all know, sometimes there are other external barriers that prevent students from being, or parents as being as visible as they would like to in the school. Mr. Blair makes sure he provides every opportunity for those students or parents to be involved in the learning process. The last word, ownership. Mr. Blair owns his students. He treats his students as if they are his own. Mr. Blair, through his involvement in the PTSA as a vice president for 2 years straight, showed the community, the parents, and the students that he has a vested interest in Meadowcreek High School beyond his role as a counselor. I thought that that was a tremendous task that he took on, and he stepped up to the plate. Through his involvement in the PTSA, we increased our enrollment tremendously. We had just as many students involved in PTSA as we did parents. It's a wonderful tenure he had with the PTSA. Some other things that he does to show ownership, he is our senior sponsor, which I don't know if you all that don't work at the high school level, that is a huge task to arrange graduation. So as a senior sponsor, he works side by side with me, and when we discuss graduation, I let him know and remind him that this is their only graduation for high school. So it needs to be their best graduation. But he accepts that responsibility to make sure that the students are encouraged their entire senior year and that they do receive the best graduation ever. Some other things that he does, as you mentioned, he works with the emergency response team. When he asked me if he could take that responsibility on, I couldn't help but say yes. See, at Meadowcreek High School, I always believe that we have our own emergency response team. Our students come with some challenges that I believe are unique to some other schools. They take on that responsibility and they continue the work that needs to be done. So when he asked me if he could share some of his techniques and skills with Gwinnett County, I said, sure. That's what we do. We share, we collaborate, we inspire, and we own so that we change lives at Meadowcreek High School. I would like to introduce to you our head counselor, but your counselor of the year for the high school level, Mr. William Blair.
That it's one of my favorite things that we do every year. We find, because we have such high quality counselors and just so outstanding, that it's really difficult for us to choose our counselors of the year.
I've dedicated my life to being a school counselor and working with kids and doing things that help them achieve in school, and to be recognized by my peers just means the world to me.
It really means a lot to know that there is someone to advocate for you and advocate for your school. I'm so grateful to have won it this time, and it's really a testament of the great counseling team that surrounds me.
We are really blessed in this county that we have had the board's backing for many, many years, the superintendent, as well as our administrators.
I'm so proud to represent the counselors and what all they stand for. They're such an outstanding group of individuals. They support our students and our school in a variety of ways, and they also support our community.
I have the greatest job in the world. I'm motivated to go to work because I love what I do.
I just really have a passion for student success, and I want to see them move on and be the best that they can be, and it just excites me to do it.
I would love to tell our counselors thank you. They do a yeoman's job every single day. They're amazing people, and I'm just so blessed to have an opportunity to work with them.